Hola, witches.
Hello, hello.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna have fun tonight. We are going to be utilizing our tarot decks tonight. Wonderful tarot conversation on tarot magic, healing, detox, and replenish or replenishment. Very interesting topics that have come up lately and are very important. And we figured since, Mercury retrograde, a very exciting time for all of us, a very adventurous time, this would be perfect to discuss. We will share messages from the cards. We might throw in some like different ways to utilize the cards for workings on each topic, and then whatever else we decide to do. If you have any questions, utilize the comment section on the video. Anything you want to say, anything you want us to address, feel free to comment and we will do our best to respond. But with that being said, let's talk about retrograde really fast. Let's talk a little bit about the energy that retrograde has to offer us, and the energy going on, in the cosmos at the moment. Miss Melissa.
I read a really great article about this particular retrograde, because every retrograde has its own energy about it, as much as it does deal with a lot of the same aspects. And this is supposed to be a much lighter retrograde than the previous one, and I personally can already tell that's different than the previous one. The previous one was way intense for me. It was extremely, like, I felt it immediately. With this one, it seems like all the stuff that I felt in the last one happened like right before this retrograde took effect. So it's different. It's very much a time of healing, as much as people like to kind of um, gloss over that fact because we're so concerned about the miscommunication and the travel issues and the technological issues. But Mercury retrograde is also about healing. And it so far it's been interesting. A lot of interesting things have come up so far that, like I said, they're not as intense. They're kind of subtle, but they're still very they're I can relate to what I'm feeling lately, and I understand why it's being brought up. So this retrograde is going to be really interesting. A different, more subtle, in a more subtle way, but almost more powerful because of the subtlety.
Right. I like that, and absolutely, I agree. And if we, I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I don't know, I've thought it before, so most likely I've said it. But retrograde, I think of like the red lines in your natal chart. Like, and April, we've taken a course with April Shaley of April's Astrology. And, the way she expressed the red lines is like they're challenges. They're things that kind of like rev up and they make you, they're friction and they make you think. They make you maybe change things, or they're that uncomfortable experience where you aren't sure if you want to stay where you are or if you want to move. It's being that it's being in that energy that is so challenging, where it forces you to act, either to cover yourself up and stay in the same position and kind of like shield yourself from that experience, even though that that it's probably something you need to work on, or it gets to that point where you're like, fuck this shit, I'm tired of this bullshit, peace, time to change, going to gonna go to India, have a little spiritual vacation, gonna go to Ireland, meet my peeps, I don't know, you're gonna have something that's going to create that adventure and that change, that experience where you decide whether you stay, whether you go, whether you do something. But it's an action thing, and so retrograde, as much as the society and everyone likes to focus on its negative aspects, because even like mundanes, everyone's like, oh, Mercury retrograde, something bad's gonna happen, computer's gonna break, blah blah bullshit blah. But I think and this is so far away from what we're going to talk about, kind of. But I think the interesting thing about retrograde and how everyone talks about its negative aspects, it's almost in a way where, you know, society and other energies are trying to control and make you and prevent you from actually growing and moving forward. Because if you focus on all this negative shit that retrograde supposedly creates, then you're not going to actually take the time to benefit from it. And that's like everyone on the whole. If we all shifted our thought process on this, we would all change the energy on a universal scale, where our minds and our mentality would not be retrograde. It'll be like, oh fuck, we're gonna have some change. We're gonna have some awesome times. It might be challenging. It might not be fun, but it's gonna be therapeutic and it's gonna be very rewarding. You know, can you imagine like if each and every one of us, you know, thought positive or saw the benefits of this experience? It'd be
Right.
fucking awesome.
It would be. It would be really world changing, and people don't, you know, we get so caught up in the inconveniences of Mercury retrograde that are so surface level inconveniences that we forget that it has a much bigger purpose. You know, we go through this three times a year, I believe. So that's 3 times a year that we could be processing and moving energies and releasing things that we don't need to carry anymore. You know, things that we don't need to deal with anymore. And it can be a very therapeutic process if we allowed it to be.
4 times a year. You're so close.
Oh, 4 times a year.
That's the benefit of having Google.
Right?
That way you don't have to like put a card in saying 4 times a year. No, right now. But yeah, I thought it was more. Shoot, what do I know?
Right.
It feels like it. Well, that's a long time though. But yeah, that's retrograde can be very healing, and it usually is. You know, we just normally neglect the benefits and the experiences that happen during this time. So, retrograde, pretty cool. And I usually end up eating my words after I say such things, but it's fun. You know, I've had a lot of I've had a lot of great experiences after I've said some very opinionated things on retrograde. But it's all been so rewarding, so I'm like, whatever, I don't care. But yeah, healing, and that's kind of this time right now. And whenever you choose to watch this video, something important, especially the message that's going on right now, is healing. Healing is necessary on all levels, because you look at, you know, the news, you look at your Facebook feed, you see a lot of deep-rooted beliefs, deep-rooted and legit. They're based on, you know, experiences. They're based on things that have happened. They are based on facts, usually. You know, these where this pain is coming from. There's a reason for this pain. You know, a lot of people are hurt. You know, whether it be you know, judgment on race, on, you know, a culture, on, you know, sexual orientation, blah blah blah, everything. You know, someone has an opinion, an offensive opinion on everything. You know, people don't like cookies. I don't know. You know, they don't have enough chocolate chips. Whatever. You know, people are so programmed to hate something, or the first response is to express a negative opinion or express a judgment. And our first response should really to just go within, like take a step back, detach, go within, and just breathe it. You know, take a breathe. I can't talk, y'all. Take a breath and process and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What's going on? Why did this flag this up for me? Or what did it flag up? But like I'm rambling about, there's so much hate, there's so much anger, there's so much pain that's being uprooted for us to work through. And this is a time for us to, as a whole, to work through and to process, and not, not to, sweep it back under the carpet, the rug, whatever you want to say. But it's time to look at it, process it, and move forward. And that's kind of what, the message tonight on all levels is about. It's moving forward, understanding, that healing is necessary, and understanding that people are angry, they're sensitive, they're very raw. And all of this is coming from somewhere, which needs to be addressed, and people need to be allowed to express themselves, but not at the cost of others, not to hurt.
Right. Exactly. So, personally, I don't like the fact that I don't get near enough tortillas with my fajitas at restaurants, but everyone's got their thing. But no, you're so right, though. There's a lot of conflict going on right now, and we can take that conflict and be totally pissed off about it, or we can look at it as an opportunity to grow, to redefine or solidify our beliefs, and realize the person that we are, the person that you actually are, not concentrate so much on, okay, all these people are assholes, but more like, why is the fact that they're assholes bothering me, really? And sometimes it is straight up and obvious, because what they say is wrong and I'm totally against it, and I feel, like it's completely unjustified. And sometimes it has to do with more personal, deeper things. So.
Right. So let's break out our cards. Let's have fun, y'all. On a very heavy subject. Let's do our best.
Right.
But let's shuffle our cards and let's focus on healing. Let's focus on maybe what needs to be processed at this very moment. For everyone watching, let's focus on a card that is going to bring about the best healing possible, what needs to be addressed, and let's see where that takes us. But yeah, y'all, healing is necessary, and that's something that I don't feel like a lot of us really appreciate, because it makes us stronger. It makes us more potent in our craft. Healing is just a natural part of our process here.
It is. And, I think a lot of the reasons why people sort of balk at the healing process is because that means you have to deal with what's making you not well. And nobody likes to deal with sickness. We don't like it when we feel bad. We don't like it when we feel crummy. So, but that's just a part of it. In order to heal, you have to get rid of all that yuck.
Right. And some people are, on some level, there's the belief that if I honor healing, then that means I have to step into my power. If I heal myself, then I won't be able to complain about all the shit that's going wrong with me. And, some people, they won't honor that. They don't think that they like to complain, but there's so many different beliefs that it can be, at the core of that. But I know someone extremely well that loves to bitch and moan and complain, and if they are dying every other day, they stub their fucking toe, it has to be cut off. They, if she's not, calling someone on the phone, complaining about something, she's not happy, because she wants attention. She wants to feel important to other people. I don't know her core belief, so I can't say it, but there is something around her that she wants attention. She wants people to notice her. She wants to be in that energy. So if she doesn't have her pain, if she doesn't have her sickness, if she doesn't have her dis-ease, or any ailment that comes her way, if she doesn't have something to complain about, especially in regards to her health, people are going to forget her. And that's the process that goes through her head. And that's something that a lot of us have to address too, because some people just, they think if they're whole, if they're healed, No one's going to pay attention to them, or they fear that they might step into their power, and they're scared. Like, what are you going to do if you're in your power? What are you going to do if you have nothing holding you back? Can I really handle that? I don't know. That's stuff that you have to consider.
Exactly. You know, and a lot of people just, I mean, whenever you have that kind of mentality, you are always going to be sick. You're always going to have something wrong with you because you are literally asking for it. You know, in so many ways. In so many ways, you exalt the fact that you, in a way, that you aren't feeling well. You know, you rely on that energy to influence other people, so they will look at yourself, and it's a pretty damaging process after a while.
Yes, it is. Now,
I have my card.
I have my card.
The Fool. And, you know, the Fool is a great card for healing. You know, it is about new beginnings. It is about starting over. It's about going on a new journey, and that is exactly what a road to recovery or any kind of healing is about. It's starting a new journey and being extremely optimistic and even kind of naive about it, you know? I mean, you see that a lot, especially those of you who are in the medical field. People who are just almost ridiculously optimistic about healing from a disease that you're like, you know, I'm glad you're optimistic, but maybe you're being too optimistic. And then those are the people that overcome these ridiculous odds because they're just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to let this stop me from being the person I am. And it's almost a naive optimism, but it is what pushes them over and through that obstacle in their life and that challenge in their life. So the Fool is an excellent source of healing. She is that optimistic, bubbly, let's do this, let's go, let's tackle this. Who cares where it's going? Who cares where we're going? That's not the point. It's not the destination, it's the journey. You know, so many cliches I can throw up there, but still, they're good cliches because they're true. You know, it's not about the end result. It's about working through it and to get where you are. That, you know, don't focus on I want to be well. Focus on how can I get there? What steps do I need to take to, you know, push me along in the search for wellness, for healthiness, for feeling like I'm empowered and I'm whole. So that is the message from the Fool.
I like that.
What is your card?
Well, the Seven of Cups.
Oh, I like it.
Yes, and before I get into the Seven of Cups, I will say, like, on the Fool, you know, what we need to work on, what we need to process. The Fool is a perfect card because that's like the beginning and the ending, as you know, at the same time. The Fool is kind of like pre-birth, and that's a very fascinating thing to contemplate, to consider. Is what we need to work on is our purpose. Like, why are we here? What we need to heal is everything that blocks us from living our truth, because the Fool, like you said, has that energy where carefree and very the Fool has desires, and the Fool, you know, at its core and its totality is not really caring what the fuck's going on, because I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I'm just gonna have fun, I'm gonna do it because, you know, no one's telling me I can't. But right now, and what I was receiving as you were talking about the Fool, is there are things that are set in place that are creating blocks. And so what we need to work on is our understanding of, again, why we came here, why we are interacting with the world right now, why we are in the situations that we're in, and really removing those obstacles to live our purpose, to live our truth, and to have fun, and to remind ourselves that we're not here just to pay bills. We're here to do very important things, and in order for you to find out what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, what you're meant to do, you have to go through that process. You have to go through the understanding of birth and rebirth, and you have to make sure that you follow through. And this month is all about taking action. This month is about follow through. And so the Fool is saying, it's time to be present. It's time to just, have that carefree attitude and not care, not give a fuck about the world around you, and start to pay attention to your internal dialogue, and start to pay attention to what is necessary for you to experience, to get you to where you want to be, and to get you to where what's going to make you happy. And so once you strive for that, once you get there, it's like, okay, boom, boom, this is why you're here. You're here to be happy. You're here to be in your power. You're here to do whatever it is you're supposed to do, and that's up to you to find out, and to live it, and to breathe it, and to enjoy it. And whatever makes you happy in that moment, you send this energy out into the world where you're living your truth. You're in your authentic essence, and that travels. And so everyone around you starts to get influenced by that power, that essence, and that joy that you express, and they change. And so that's what the Fool right now is all about, because all of us are living our life, paying our bills, doing what we do, and it's a lot of it holds us back because we're not really that happy doing what we're doing. We're just going through the motions. And so it's about finding what's going to make you happy and creating a plan to execute to get to where you will be happy, where you will be supported, and you will be doing what you love to do and what you want to do, and share that. So, the Seven of Cups, y'all. Seven of Cups on what we need to focus on, and this is kind of goes with the rest of the Detox and Replenish. Seven of Cups comes in, and Cups, we know, emotions, spirit as well. The Seven of Cups is so many options, but what we don't see here is sometimes having so many options, not the best. Because if you think of a buffet, you think of a buffet, and it's like $10. You got the buffet. You're gonna go have some pizza. You're gonna have a corn dog. You're gonna have some there's some chocolate looking shit over there. It's like ice cream. You're gonna have cookies. You can get horrible, sick. It feeds an addiction. So that's not always good. And so the Seven of Cups here is expressing to you to be very discerning as to where you're placing your energy and where you're placing your investments. Seven of Cups is expressing that what we need to work on right now in regards to healing is our addictions, is on what makes us, on what we incorporate into our lives that we enjoy, but we kind of go overboard with, whether it's like a shopping habit, whether it's like a food habit, and whether it's just like being lazy, like you're just lazy. And there's nothing wrong with, taking time for yourself, but we all know when there's a point where you become too lethargic and you're just on your ass and you're not acting. And I'm listening to myself as I speak because that's where I am right now. So you get into that energy where you're just not doing shit, and you should be, but you're on your ass, and you need to exercise. You need to get up. You need to move. You need to do something. And that's kind of what this card is about. It's saying that it's time to really get up and focus. This is about focusing because you have many options. You have many things to do. But right now you're filling your shit with unnecessary stuff. You're focusing on things that it's too much of one thing. You need to sort of like take your time and your effort out of the things that aren't really getting you anywhere, and focus them into something a little more productive. And for me personally, it's I need to stop being lazy and sitting on my ass and just being tired. And I need to work on, exercising, and I need to work better on my nutrition and drinking more water. So that's kind of what we need to work on in regards to the Seven of Cups. Don't just choose one thing and allow everything else to pile up. It needs to be very fluid because cups and cups energy is about fluidity and cycles and processing energy. So we need to focus on bringing that fluid nature back into our lives to get up and to move and to express ourselves. And that's another thing that this card is saying is your emotions are powerful, obviously, but holding them back and having too much of one emotion can consume you. And that's not fun. And that's something that will happen. This is interesting. Okay. So if you focus on something, on emotion, if you have so much of it, or if it comes back to you and you're just like, fuck, it's just overwhelming. And then your mind starts to just go and go and go. It's because you haven't addressed it really. You haven't healed it. You haven't got to the core of the situation, And so you have to take time to process the emotions that are being, that are surfacing right now, and honor them, allow them to flow through you, but get to that core. Because if it's being flagged up again, and if you've been through this process like a million times, there's something that you're not seeing. There's something that you've not processed. There's something that you haven't let go of. You need to ask yourself, are you ready to let go? Can you release? Can you heal? Do you deserve healing? Do you feel like you deserve healing? Do you feel like wherever your emotions are attached, does that situation, do they deserve healing? Do you feel like they deserve forgiveness? Can you forgive? And so these things right now, the Seven of Cups are saying all of these things, and they need to be cleared out, because when you harbor resentment, when you have all of this energy piling up, and it creates something, it creates power, it creates influence, and it releases from you, and then it latches on again. And you're going through a cycle that is not beneficial to you, to the situation, and you can do better, and you deserve better. And again, it doesn't have anything to do with outside influence. It doesn't have anything to do with the other situation, the other person, the other people. It has everything to do with you and reclaiming your power and taking your power back. So that's the question you have to ask. Seven of Cups. Can I forgive? Can I release? And where am I putting too much emphasis that is holding me back? And what can I do to allow fluid movement in my life right now? I can't be a glutton.
Right, I like that. Yes. And whenever you do that, whenever you hold back like that, whenever you are so busy consuming, you don't make good choices. And with the Seven of Cups, you really need to rely on your intuition and your ability to make good choices in order to focus on what you really need right now, and not let everything else be a huge distraction. Because that's just promoting that procrastination that we all can fall into. I know I'm horrible about it. It's like, oh, I have so much to do. I have this to do, and 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 you just get overwhelmed. It's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sit here and watch Netflix. Because you're letting it all overwhelm you instead of focusing on what will be the best action to take right now.
Right. I like that. So, y'all, we've been trying to keep these things to like a half hour, but that shit's sailed. Not gonna happen. We're at a half hour right now. So we're just gonna have fun. We're gonna talk, and hopefully y'all watch the whole thing and enjoy it. But before we move on, I would like to shuffle and focus on like an action step, like a spell, working something to inspire for what we can do to heal. So like take our cards and focus on an action step or something like that to deal with this.
We can do that.
Yes, because and that's important, y'all. And you can see how the tarot it helps us process information. It helps us to pinpoint things that need to be worked on and on a universal scale and connects us all. But you can see where it's beneficial to utilize in releasing and healing and understanding that. And so when you take a card and you focus an action step, working or something that's going to be something you can utilize to follow through on the message you just received, that's powerful too, because then you take the mental aspect, the wisdom and the knowledge that was just expressed or you just received, and you sort of root it a little better, and you make it more physical. And when it's more physical, we're able to process it better, and we're able to say, okay, I can deal with this. It's physical. I have to deal with it.
Right.
So yes, I think. What's my card? You got your card?
Not yet. I'm getting it right now, though. What is that?
Temperance.
That's interesting.
This is interesting. This is very interesting. A bunch of bullshit. I've been reading the cards since I was 10. And Temperance has always been like a challenge for me. I just look at the card and I'm like, you bore me.
Yeah.
But and it's a major card, y'all. So obviously we have some major things to follow through with. And the funny thing is, it's like at its core, and this dude has like a weird ass fucking foot. Look at that.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. Temperance is not one of my favorite cards.
It's just a very interesting card. But our follow through, our action step here, especially in regards to the Seven of Cups, right now we need to balance. Again, very simple at seeing the balance and the fluidity of this card. It's taking our investments, taking where we place so much of our energy right now and what we know we need to work on. It's taking that and sort of transforming it into something a little more productive. So instead of going crazy, which I'm probably going to go crazy, I don't care, but instead of going crazy and going from one extreme to another, it's time to take your time, your energy, and whatever, and start to bring in whatever it is that you need to work on. So for me, I would be like, okay, well, instead of like going crazy and only eating watermelon for a week or something, or juicing, I'll juice, every other day or once a week. And then I will follow through with, maybe I'll work out 2 times a week, and then I'll slowly increase it to 3 times a week. And what I'm doing is I'm tempering something. I'm taking my current situation, and then I'm sort of taking another situation and melding it. I'm learning how to work with it. And that's kind of what this card is expressing. It's like, we need to really learn to work with what we have. And you can't just, well, you can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you just can't take where you currently are and wish it away. It's something that's going to take time to process through. So what we have to really do is be gentle with ourselves, be very considerate, and start to incorporate things into our current experience. So don't go crazy and go buy all this shit that's going to, make you the best person you are. Slowly transition. And your action step is to bring something into your experience now that is going to help you get to where you need to be, and to start doing that ever so often. Don't do it like every day. Just start slowly till it becomes a habit.
Right. And I love that because that goes, I feel like it goes very well with my card, which is the High Priestess, because, you know, major cards, major healing, apparently, major action steps. So, you know, like Michael said, with Temperance, you want to take things slow and incorporate things at a very tempered pace. You know, you don't want to just throw yourself into stuff. And because it's not the best way to heal when you throw yourself into circumstances and just like hit it head on. I'm like, I'm going to be the best of everything, and I'm going to do this all the time, and I'm going to be the best, and you burn out really quickly. And so with Temperance, you want to make it a more natural transition. And the High Priestess can help you with that because she is all about spirituality and intuition and knowledge and understanding that there is a balance, there is a process, there is a way to go about things, and she is very highly knowledgeable in that. And so whenever you are you know, performing these action steps to healing, you can use the High Priestess, and she will help you with that intuition and making these wise decisions. You know, she will help you with knowing when to incorporate these action steps into your journey to healing. You know, she will help you with that. She has that knowledge. You know, and so I would pay attention to your dreams, to what you're drawn to and why, and work these things into your daily routine. You know, if you don't have a daily routine, then it's something that you can start adding to right now, slowly, to where it's not something that's overwhelming, to where you don't just burn out and like, fuck it, forget it, I can't do this, it's too hard. You know, just a slow, natural process. And like I said, the High Priestess can really help with that. You know, she can, you know, motivate you and guide you and help you, and where you won't get so flustered and bogged down in the action of change.
Right, I like that. You know, the funny thing about that too is, like, with your Fool, the Fool needs guidance. The Fool is kind of like naive, and so the High Priestess is the person you kind of turn to for spiritual guidance, for guidance on you know, earthly means as well, like for things that she has knowledge, she has wisdom, and so that's interesting that those cards are combined and they are both major. So big events are happening and a lot of change is coming, which is change is always here, but we are open to it more so now. So the High Priestess is saying, you know what, maybe for whatever religion, you know, whatever spirituality you practice, whatever faith you are from, seek counsel with an elder. See someone who you trust and talk with them and see how they can maybe have words of encouragement. They might have words where, you know, of action. They might be holding on to something that they need to pass on to you. So if someone pops up into your head, communicate with them. And, you know, because that's the High Priestess role. You know, they are spiritual individuals, are very religious individuals, and they have something to offer. So they're of service. And so that's interesting. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, the cards are I love the way they are merging together.
They're tempering.
I love the way they're tempering.
So we talked about healing and how it's necessary to our development, just as beings, you know, as human and experiences and all that shit. So as we heal, you know, as we work on things, we tend to detox, and detox is a very important part of the process because you are detoxifying, you are releasing toxins, you're releasing toxicity. And as we talk about detox and what that means, let's shuffle our cards and focus on, you know, like maybe inspiration card on what we need to detox right now, or what we are detoxing at the moment, you know, on a universal scale. But let's talk about detox. Detox is important. It's releasing toxins. It's removing the bad shit from your body or the excessive shit in your body.
Right, and honestly, it's how you heal. I mean, that is healing. Healing is purging yourself, of all that is making you unwell. you know.
Absolutely, and it reminds me a lot of like when people say you need to declutter and you get rid of a lot of clutter, you feel better, blah blah blah. Your energy feels better. It's the same thing with detoxing. When you detox, you're getting rid of shit. You're getting rid of a lot of stuff like in your body, toxins and all that. So you're decluttering your body. And as you declutter your body, you sort of detox your mind and spirit as well. So you're getting rid of a lot of things. It's very powerful. But yeah, and that makes room for things to come in. That makes room for the new energy. And so detox helps to release all the stuff that holds you back, all the junk, all the stagnant energy, and it helps to make room for what you need.
Right, exactly. And this time of year too, right before the equinox, that is something that's kind of important because you're right, once the equinox approaches, it's about finding balance. And the best way to find balance is to get rid of all the crap you don't need, you know?
Right. I like that. Dude. Okay, I think.
What the hell? It's just a major night tonight, apparently. That's all I seem to be pulling.
Huh. What did you pull? Or
Well, it's kind of interesting. It's a card that honestly, to me, is pretty much a duh kind of card when it comes to detox. The Tower. And it is. It's kind of a no shit Sherlock. Let's detox. Obviously, detox is getting back to where you need to be. The Tower, getting back to that strong foundation and knocking down all the bullshit that you build on top of it, and honestly, as much as a lot of times I think of the Tower, I think of going back to the very foundation. But in this tower, it's not so much that they just kind of knocked the roof off there. Like the structure was sound, but maybe the roof was leaking a little bit. So, it's like it's time to kind of scratch off the surface shit. The surface shit is what's blocking you. It's what's kind of clogging your pores and not letting you breathe. So it's time to knock off, scrape off that surface crap and not worry about all the little things. We all get really caught up in the little bits and pieces of worry that we scatter about here and there that really, when you think about it, aren't that big of a deal. It's really not that much to worry about. It's not the monster that you think it is. It is just these little bits and pieces that have clung to us and you haven't shaken it off yet. And so it's time to get out the exfoliators. I don't know why this is like such a health and beauty thing for me right now, but it is. But get out the exfoliators and get that crap off. Drink more water. Use your cucumber masks and really pull out all those toxins and get rid of the junk. Because it's not so deep that it's going to take surgery to remove. This is something you can do with the stuff you have at home. This is something that you can detox with in a natural way. It doesn't have to be some invasive surgery. As much as we sometimes like to make it that big of a deal, it's just that it's that important. Because if you don't get rid of these toxins, if you don't cleanse and sort of scrape off the junk, it will become a serious problem, just like a leaky roof. If you ignore it, after a while, it's going to affect the entire structure. But if you catch it early, then it's just you know, a matter of replacing a few shingles. It's not something that you have to, you know, get out the innards for. That makes sense. But yeah, so that is my card about detox. Let's get rid of the junk, y'all. Stuff you don't need, the stuff that you're just worrying about for no real reason. You're, you know, creating these monsters in your mind, and it's time to tell them to move along.
Right, and it's I like the surface material, the surface aspect of it, because it tells you that these things are what we're doing. Our healing process is working, and everything's being uprooted, and it's at the surface to be cleared out and to be detoxed, you know. And so I also feel that it's associated with the type of people that you surround yourself with, and not necessarily the type of people that you surround yourself with. It's how you act when you're around people. If you're talking to someone and you're communicating with them because you can benefit from them, and you're actually making them think that you're friends, on your surface fucking them, you're on a surface level, you're messing with them, and you're keeping that relationship at a surface level, when they might be taking it differently because you're making it that way. So don't do that. It's saying to be true to yourself. It's saying to be truthful, you know, because the tower is like all about breaking down barriers, breaking down lies, and usually like the tower is based on building something on a bed of like lies, like of things that weren't, like false promises and all this other stuff. And then you finally get to your tower, it topples over because you see that the foundation, it was shook because people are lying, or there's other things like that, you know, wasn't solid. Luckily, in this card, it's being raised up, and the surface shit is like what needs to be cleared up. And not saying don't treat people, this is so basic, but don't treat people horrible. Don't treat people the way, you know, you don't want to treat someone the way you wouldn't want to be treated, you know?
Right. I mean,
So,
and that's like a kindergarten thing. We learn, you know, it's a thing we learn in kindergarten. But, you know, it's so interesting that you brought that up here the other day. I was just reading random stuff on Pinterest, looking through stuff, and this story came about, and basically, I'll make it very short, but this guy passed away, and he met God, and God was saying, you know, okay, you know, you've died, and now you're here, but don't get too comfortable because you're going back. And he's like, oh, so there's not a heaven? You know, he's like, no, there's not a heaven or hell, you know, but you're going back to earth. And he says, well, where am I going back to earth? You know, what am I going to be? Who am I going to be? And he's like, well, you're going to be this girl in 16, you know, like, or 960 AD. And he's like, whoa, that's the past. And he's like, well, time is not the way you view it. And, you know, it's all, you know, it's not linear. It is very mutable, I guess you could say. And he says, you know, well, I don't understand. You know, wouldn't I run into myself eventually? You know, by jumping back and forth in time. He's like, no, you don't understand. Every single person is you. You are everybody. Every person on the earth is you at one point in time. And he's like, well, I don't get it. He's like, so every time you were cruel to yourself. And every time you were kind to yourself. And until you really understand that, you know, you're going to have to go through this over and over and over again. And then once you do that, then you will be birthed and you will be like me. You know, and I just thought that was so profound, because it's true. You know, the way you treat people, that's the way you're treating yourself. And if everybody thought that way, we wouldn't treat ourselves like, you know, we wouldn't treat other people like shit.
right. I like that. I like that.
Right? It's sort of a mind fuck, but it's really interesting.
It is interesting. It's super interesting. I like that. It is a mind fuck too, but it's just the truth, you know. In the card I pulled,
Oh,
is
I like
the Ace of Swords. Aces, obviously, we know, are the beginnings of something. They can be the endings. They're very highly spiritual. The swords, air, mental, kind of bitchy at times. And so, you know, what we need to detox really is having, you know, that mental aspect, that very bossy, bitchy, analytical, you know, I speak the truth. I am right. This is the way it has to be. We have to sort of, you know, release that from ourselves, because when you're right, like when you know you're right, sometimes you do more harm and destruction when you're in a conversation or in a group situation at work or something where you try to you have to let everyone know that you're right at all costs. That's not always beneficial. And then the Ace of Swords is saying, you know what, choose your battles. And right now we need to pay attention to the words that we express, the thoughts that flow through us that tend to come out of our mouths, and understand that, you know, justice is necessary, but it is not up to you to create that energy. It's not up to you to be the judge and jury of the people around you. And really, it's not up to you to do that to yourself, because sometimes, you know, we have internal programming where we're judging ourselves so harshly. And what we need to detox right now is the very harsh judgments that we have on ourselves, and we need to release that. We need to take the Ace of Swords and really understand its beauty and its benefit, where it has a blessing to be bestowed, where we have this healthy mindset of who we are and what we do and how we act and how we communicate with other people. And we need to release the unhealthy mindset that we currently have of who we are and how we express ourselves to other people about ourselves and about other people. This is about, you know, releasing the truth. Releasing the things that we hold on to, the things that are, you know, again, like with the Tower card, it's surfacing. So we are releasing these truths, these things that are very mental and things that we believe and things that we have said to ourselves deep down. We're releasing them out into the world, and as we release it, we have to let it go. We have to release and not like hold on to it, take it back in, release, take it. No, it's not about that. It's about detoxifying. So we have to release like the negative words that we utilize. We just let go of the control. And that's kind of like that's the big thing here is releasing and letting go of having to be right, having to be in control, and being so analytical where you nitpick at everything and you are like harsh. You're harsh in how you treat people, and you're harsh in how you execute a situation, a plan, because you're very swordsy. You know, you have that mental application, you have that mental essence, the air essence. So release the need to constantly be right. Sometimes it's just let it go, let it flow, allow it to flow. But that's kind of what we need to be more aware of, is our thoughts and our words and how we use those words. It's really important to let go of how we control the situations that we are in. We can't always control everything. So when you express yourself and you use words, you can't always control how people perceive. So sometimes when you try to explain yourself, it just makes it worse. You don't need to explain yourself to people unless you feel that it's right at that time. But usually you don't have to justify certain things, and you have to give that up. You have to release that. That's what we're detoxing, because we want to be accepted. We want people to love us. We want to be thought of well in everyone's minds. And that's kind of what's being said, like, don't care. And it's not that you're heartless. It's just you can't control everything. Release, control, detoxify the need to be in control and control everything around you.
Right, because in all honesty, you know, especially if you look at that through the tower, you don't control shit. As much as we like to think we control stuff, we don't control a damn thing. You know, I mean, there's very small little things that might make you feel better about the situation, but in all honesty, we don't control much of anything. The only thing we control is this body, this, you know, this husk that we're hovering around in on this very physical plane. That's about it. So whenever you realize that, really accept that all the way down, like, to your core, then all this little junk, all that surface shit, it doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
You don't care. All you can do is control you. It's not the problem, it's your attitude towards the problem.
Right.
And that is something.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut the last one short. Let's shuffle. Let's focus on action step, and then when we get to replenish, we'll have you shuffle for one thing, and I'll shuffle for like the action, and then we'll tie that up. But y'all, we've been talking for days. Sorry. But let's focus on an action step for the detoxifying process, and then we'll move on. And it's important to, you know, take everything that's been said into consideration and follow through with it. Again, like I said previously, this month is about follow through, and what better way to realize where you are than retrograde, because retrograde, again, brings up challenge. It puts a spotlight on, you know, what needs to be addressed and what's going, you know, maybe not so right in your life. It brings up those things in order for you to be able to work through them. So pay attention to that, and let that be guide as to what needs to be released, healed, detoxified.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. And if y'all want to, like, you know, have fun with us, if y'all want to guest host a show with us, if you have a topic you want to talk about, you want to be on a show, you want us to talk with you, you know, message us. We will, we'll get back to you, and we want to have you participate. We love it when you participate. So if you want to be on the show and you want to talk about something, message us, let us know. Oh, this is funny.
What did you get?
King of Swords. The King of Swords. Okay, so King of Swords as an action step is interesting. It's that's funny, because as the Ace of Swords express that we have to release control, we have to release, you know, that analytical, that logical process where we just like have to be right. The King of Swords is saying, yes, while you do that, the action step here is to understand ethics, understand like kind of like right and wrong, understand the process of personal ethics and ethics as a whole, and when you can detach yourself, from situations, and you can really see the way energy moves and processes, you will be able to just say, okay, I understand what's going on. I don't have to participate in this. The King of Swords is saying, take a step back and just watch. You can analyze, don't verbalize, don't actualize, don't express yourself, but take a step back and watch how people how people engage. Watch how people respond to each other. Do not verbally respond. detach, pay attention to, and see how things flow. So as you release, as you give up control and the need and the desire and the I have to be right, you can take a step back and see how people are interacting, see how people are actually engaging with that, and you just pay attention, you analyze everything, and you process it, so you are more aware of the people in your life, and who you want to keep close and who you want to maybe distance yourself from. And he's expressing again to pay attention, and the follow through here is to not the action step is to not act. To not act upon, and detach and pay attention.
Right, I like that. I like that. And you know, and you get strength through that whenever you use, you know, a very regal mindset of I'm going to detach, I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to make my choices within, you know, and decide where I stand. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a vocalized, "Hey, y'all, shut the hell up! I'm right. I know what I'm doing," kind of thing. It can be a very, very diplomatic. Um, you know, that's your opinion, man. You know, and I'm gonna stay over here, and I respect your opinion, and I see where you're coming from, and you know, I don't really share the same opinion, but I feel like if I voice what I feel, it's going to irritate you and make the situation worse, and that's not what we want here. You know, and my card is the Six of Wands. Interesting, but I like it because you know it shows someone who's happy with that decision. You know, it's understanding that yes, I do need to detach, and once I detach, I will appreciate that metamorphosis. I'm going to appreciate that rising above others, you know, and not in a haughty-taughty, I'm better than you kind of way, in a very, I've done this for myself kind of way. Not a, I'm going to rub this in your face kind of way, but a very passionate, you know what, this is about me right now, and I'm glad that I have risen above and detached, and I understand how to, you know, let others do their thing, and it doesn't have to have an effect on me necessarily. And I can be above that, and I like that, you know. And to me, it's not about necessarily, you know, throwing yourself a parade because you figured this out. But it is about having that inner peace and that inner celebration that, oh my gosh, I figured it out, I understand, and I'm in this metamorphosis state where I'm changing, and I'm happy with that. I can find peace in that.
I like that.
So the action step would be from the Six of Wands is a kind of rising above, being above what is going on, not necessarily to promote yourself, but to be happy with yourself.
Right. And you know, to add upon what you expressed, you know, the exfoliating expression with the tower, you can actually take this and say it's time to, you know, have a slumber party, have a spa day where you get, you know, a few of your close to your friends and do facials and you know, have a adventure, have a moment where you spend time together and you sort of detox in the sense where you're detoxing from the outside world. You're scrubbing the shit off, and you're having fun, and you're being an amusement, and you're celebrating success. You could be a circle time. It could be where you guys get together and you have circle, you chant, you raise energy, you have a process where you strengthen the bonds of friendship.
Right.
So yeah, that's that's detox, and detox is necessary and fun, and sometimes very ugly, but it's what we have to do. It's a process. And the last bit, y'all, and I apologize for it being so long, but this is heavy stuff, and this is stuff that needs to be expressed, and just we talk a lot. But the last thing is replenish, and so the important thing about the whole healing and detoxifying process is as you heal yourself, as you release, you also have to replenish. You have to nourish the body, nourish the mind, nourish the soul, replenish what you have released. And so it's important. And let's shuffle the cards. And Miss Melissa, would you like to do the first card or the second card to express what we need to replenish, or how we can replenish?
I can do the first card, the express what we need to replenish.
Okay. Sounds good.
Then I'm on.
But yeah, replenishing is a vital aspect. And I think a lot of people, they forget that after you heal, after you detox, you really need to take care of the body, be gentle, because after you detox and after you release things, you're very vulnerable, you're very raw, and at some times, depending on how deep the process was, you can be very weak. And so you don't want to do too much afterwards, but you need to take care of the body. You need to be gentle with it. You need to be gentle with the mind. You need to replenish all the shit you release with things that are going to uplift and be better suited for your body, your mind, and your life.
Exactly. Plus, honestly, to me, the replenishing part, that's the fun part. It's kind of like after the spa day and your skin feels so good and your body feels so good, and so you just kind of you continue that pampering stage by replenishing, yourself with really good food, good, water, wonderful things to drink, and you feel amazing afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
You ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
And I got the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands to replenish yourself, and I really enjoy this card because, like all aces, it's beginning, ending, the beginning and the ending of a cycle. So, you've gone through the process with detox, and detoxing is a very fire element kind of thing. You've burnt out all the junk. You've gotten rid of it, you've scrubbed it away, you've burned it off, whatever you needed to do to detox yourself. And we talked about getting rid of that in a very healthy way by detaching, like, sort of burning those bridges in a way. At least some emotional bridges, detach and pull yourself away, and then you have the Ace of Wands is what you need to replenish. You need to replenish that fire. You need to replenish that passion. And once you detox and you feel lighter, it is not very challenging at all to find that passion again, to find that joy in whatever it is you want to do, and move towards that. Like a moth to a flame, you're kind of empty, so you need that. You need that fire. You need that passion, and the Ace of Wands is saying, hey, go for it. You need to focus on the first thing that comes into your mind, the first thing that you show this huge passion for after the process. Go for it. That's your intuition telling you that's what you need to do. So that is what I get from the Ace of Wands.
I like that. And the Ace of Wands expresses what we need to replenish, and that is our creative force, our artistic expression, whatever stimulates the inner child within us, what makes us laugh, what what inspires us, you know, like you said, your craft and your practice and all of that. So the Ace of Wands is very interesting, and I love how, you know, after we detox and heal and all this shit, what we need to replenish is our life force, our essence that moves us and makes us happy, and our fire.
This, of course,
The sun. The sun is the action card, and you know we take we replenish our creative force, our power, our fire. You know, and what fuels us and what inspires us, and how are we going to do that? We are going to bring in solar energy, and again, this is action. The sun can express, like, you know, this. I get yoga, like yoga with the sun right now. Like, you know, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do yoga. And you know why we're gonna do yoga? Because when you're doing yoga, you are engaging with the body, but you're also engaging with every aspect of yourself, your mind, your breathing, and that moves energy through your body and in the different yoga poses. And then you're breathing. It's like a form of active meditation. You're processing through so many things, and that's kind of the best thing you can do after you while you're healing and detoxing to replenish. You're moving all of the stuff through your body, and as you move with this energy, you're bringing in the creative force, you're bringing in the sun energy, and you can do hot yoga, you know, with raising that energy. Oh, that's so much work though. But it's also saying take time to be inspired in your practice. So get some resource material and read it and act upon it. Do some practical work where, you know, you're going to be engaging with whatever inspires you, and something that's going to be uplifting, something that's going to bring like enlightenment, something that is going to really have this solar, you know, big experience on you, because the sun makes people happy usually, because it, you know, it just does. It makes people happy. It helps people, and you know, thrive and live. You know, we get enough sun. We need that. You know, we need our sun. Without the sun, we get depressed. And so we need to do what makes us happy. We need to move. We just need to move, and that's kind of the thing, is movement, belly dancing, yoga, you know, going for walks, you know, doing something that you are going to engage the physical body, as well as, you know, appreciate art. Go to an art museum and you're walking and you're appreciating art. You're doing something. Go watch a live performance. You know, for those of you who enjoy concerts, go to a concert. Do something that is going to engage the artistic nature and the creative force, but it's also going to get you out or get you doing something, moving the body. So that's kind of the action step. It's the sun. The sun is fueling the creative force of the Ace of Wands. So yeah, that's...
I like that. I like that. Plus, you know, it's all about, you know, you think about the passion and things like that, and you connect with that inner child. That, you know, anytime you detox, your inner child seems to be just ready to bubble up to the surface, because you've removed all that layer of junk that kind of keeps you down and you know, hidden away. So I love that. I love the way we mesh together.
Yes. Another way you can engage the creative force is to work on your psychic development, which, you know, Melissa and I are about to release a psychic development course, a workshop that we just did, with a great PDF that we're working on. That will be released very soon. That's something that will engage the creative nature of the individual. So that's something to look for.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of the whole process of tarot magic, healing, detox, and replenishing. Utilize your cards to pick up information and then take action with it. That's kind of the magic and the beauty of tarot. For those of you who want to participate, if you want to use this this video, comment and pick a card for healing, detox, and replenish. Pick an action step and share it below, and everyone focus on, you know, maybe everyone participating, the people who are going to watch this, and comment below and share your perception. So we don't just benefit from what we've channeled and what we've expressed and what we've, you know, shared with you, but then the comment section, all of you who participate, there's just more information, more spirit-led expression that can be shared and networked with. So take a part, have fun with that, do it.
Definitely. If you want to, if you feel inspired to do a video response where you choose a card, do that. If you like, we would love to see it. Make sure you tag us in it so we know.
Absolutely, y'all. So we definitely appreciate you. We thank you for watching and being a part of this experience. It has been a little over an hour, but it was necessary. And if you have any suggestions for future shows that you'd like us to do, let us know, and we will definitely do our best to be of service. But until next time, y'all, it's been fun. Enjoy. We'll see you later.
Bye.